You can restart it when people start.
As I'm scratching my head. So in the interest of time, why don't we just get started? And if Totally stops, is able to join us, that's great. And then we'll just take it from there. Cool. So should I share my screen with the agenda notes?
Oh yeah, I should pull this up.
Okay. Cool. Can everyone see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Test passed.
Nice. Okay, so going forward, I'll just make branches off the, so I don't need to clone to my own repo, and I'll just make, or fork to my own repo and just make branches off.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the other thing you can do is you can work on your fork, but configure Circle for your fork. Because it's open source, it's free.
Okay.
But just set up your own configuration.
Okay.
That way, we don't have to have the edgy configuration build it and share data with you.
Okay.
Because you can't. I wish what Circle would add is for you to be able to set up auto building and environment sharing with like an allowed list of forks.
Yeah, like a white list of, yeah.
Sorry, I've been trying lately not to use the whitelist, blacklist terms.
Oh, really? Is that a thing?
Well,
Okay.
so like
I'm so behind. I'm like, I don't know. It's like, so if it's a thing, I want to know about the thing.
I pay attention to. So the first place I saw it, which is probably not the first place it's been, was
Right.
on the W3C mailing list. They've started using allow list and block list for everything.
Okay.
And I saw that and I was like, oh, I feel horrible for never having stopped to think about that one. And now I'm like, I'm gonna try and do a good job of using those terms or some other terms.
Yeah. No,
for that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess in my mind, not that we're going to this rabbit hole, but I always think of like white hat, black hat kind of, but maybe that has similar baggage.
It does, right? Like if you come to it in some amazing world where you like carry none of the cultural baggage of other things that are white and black, then sure. But
yeah, no, it's micro things that add up to bigger things. So good to know. So yes, that sounds a little, well, I'll look into that. It sounds a little out of my league, but I'm happy to work within the edgy branch too. So we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Cool.
If you want to try it out and need help, just ping me. It should be really straightforward to set up.
Okay. I also have a friend that I'm enlisting just on this side to help me with some of this stuff. That's sort of just because he's a little more accessible. So, but it's really busy in the holidays, but I'll take a look. Anyway, okay. So product manager updates. Yeah, one of the big things I'm working on is I've started to try to recruit some developers, but not just like, I just don't want to start going to like meetups and being like, hey, we got this awesome project, because it attracts, it'll attract a wide spectrum of people. Some of them we don't have the capacity to manage well, and again, I'm trying to avoid that common open source story where you have beginners come and they have a bad experience and they leave with a bad experience, and that sort of sad face. So, but I reached out to a couple people that are like DevOpsy and seeing what their capacity is. It's sort of a terrible time to reach out to them, but I'm like New Year, like just even gauge interest level. So it's very soft sell, but also I saw Lou, I saw some CFA people, Kevin, the other day, and so they seem prime. Just again about capacity, and senior people they're busy people. So, but hopefully you can start, getting it on their radar.
Cool.
Okay.
Isn't Lou doing like a residency-ish thing now? Did you talk with him at all about that?
At New Work or?
Yeah.
Yes. He's doing that. He's working on Street Mix. But I think but he left. He was doing some traveling, so he hasn't been around either. So
yeah.
And then the other thing I'm doing is we have that. Thanks for applying to that poll, but we're scheduling the review. And I hope it's more of like a discussion, two-way discussion, just because now I think I have my head around like edgy and web monitoring, that we can try to figure out like, okay, what is actually the best use of my time? If it's like writing grants or just bugging every developer I know, then that's fine too. Is it more me writing more tests? Then they'll have some stuff to learn, but I'm happy to do that too. But just if you want to think about like where you think I can be most helpful to you guys and the project, you know, that's hopefully a forum where we can discuss that. Okay, analyst updates. Toy's not here, so dev updates. Why don't I open up Waffle, and should we just quickly run down in progress?
Sure.
And if there's nothing to really update, then we can sort of, or if Dan's working on something, we can just skip it. So, which is the first one, right? That's Dan's?
That's mine.
Okay.
That's ready to go, but we're holding off on merging it because there's like so many different conflicting things in flight on UI right now.
Okay.
And that one will be a breaking change for UI, so UI has to be ready for it to deploy. So I'm not even going to merge it because then we might accidentally deploy it.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. 136.
That stands.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can fill in on that he did it. There's still some like test issues in it that I think he has to resolve. And we talked about maybe doing some other changes to it so it can be expanded for other future uses instead of just doing exactly that.
Okay. Sounds good. 160.
That's raw. I think those are both done, the outgoing links.
Yeah, I think it got merged.
Yeah.
Okay. Is
So
there an
that-
easy way? Oh, so do we manually move it to done, or if it gets merged, does it automatically?
It should automatically. So
Oh, maybe I haven't refreshed
Well-
this.
it also could be that I'm thinking it got merged and it didn't.
Okay. Oh, and quick question, Rob, are we using bot.waffle.io?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay. I have a feeling if like I got a cryptic email saying that we're turning it off, but I think it might be Waffle going the other direction where it's pushing to a bot pushing stuff to GitHub projects. So, but if you haven't heard of it, then we're probably not using it, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Okay, that's interesting.
I'll forward you the email. I should have done that earlier. Okay, so
Looks like it's gone.
yes.
The outgoing stuff.
Okay, so maybe it was merged.
Mm-hmm.
135 added a list of links to. Oh, that's me. Okay, so I guess the test passed, which is good. There's no way for me to really test it, or I don't know how to test it locally. So
We should fix that.
yeah, we should fix that. Things were just quickly sort of happening, but I'll schedule time for maybe you or Dan to sort of get that going. So maybe we shouldn't merge it yet.
Okay.
But you know, the changes were pretty simple, but you know, okay. 81. Oh, that's still in progress. Sorry, I'm behind on that. I'll try to do that very shortly. I have it all down in the doc. I just need to get it into GitHub, and some of it already has, but I just need to finish it.
Do we have any issue for putting the ones that can be in the ESLint configuration?
No, that's all part of it. So
Okay.
yeah, but I actually might need a little bit of help because I'm not 100. Well, let me try and see how far I get because I'm not 100% sure of the full functionality of the ESLint. So there might be some questions coming up with that.
It is very large.
Okay.
Functionality-wise.
Okay. So 129.
That's fine. A lot of things have been changing with the UI and then how the response from DB, like that first thing all the way at the top. So I think I'm just going to hold off on that until like everything's kind of merged and stable. Because if Dan is adding that count then all my code's going to change, and then the responses from the DB is going to be completely different. So all the code.
Cascading.
And
Yeah.
happily, your
Dominoes.
code will be much simpler. You'll just
Oh
be
yeah,
like,
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All good,
never
but
changes.
Yeah.
yeah, you just don't want to. Yeah,
There's no
you
point
don't want to
working on it right now.
make stuff that you know is about to break.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next two, I think.
Yeah, there should be like backlogged or whatever.
Yeah,
Those
I
are-
think Dan was going to work on that. So let me just, before I start making stuff, just to make sure that it's not here for a reason. And then 88, consider switching from Gulp to Webpack.
Yeah, I've done the research. Now I just have to like apply it and see if I can get it working. So
Okay.
but quick, because of this week I didn't have much time to do much else other than review like
Right. Do you have blockers with that, or are you good?
No. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
I think there's a new one that landed at the top of the list when you refresh the
Oh.
page.
Yes.
So that has a PR that I think is ready to go. If somebody wants to review it, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'll probably just merge it.
Okay.
Is that to fix the versionista heading stuff I got? Yeah.
So after that's merged and deployed, then I'll have to do a whole bunch more work to go back and repair a month's worth of versions that we've tracked that have this stuff that should have been stripped out, but we'll get it done.
I was going to ask because I knew that this fire came up. There's the issue of fixing the UI to handle the new responses. Do you want me to try to tackle that? Because you're assigned to it right now. It's the thing that's blocking the DB PR from being merged.
I don't. Wait, what DBPR is being blocked by it?
Okay, you're not merging that DB PR because the UI is not ready to accept the new response.
Oh, okay. You're talking about a different change in diff responses than I was thinking. Yes, go ahead. Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, no.
There's also another change that is maybe coming with the fancy pants, like actually really fix a differ really change. And so I was going to say no to that because they need to like happen in concert, and I need to implement it anyway so I can test locally. But the one you're talking about, yes, go ahead.
Quick question then. To handle that, were you thinking of just changing, changing everything to just conform to the new response, or like adding checks for like, check for the new response, if not use the old response format? Should we be doing that way, or just
I think you should implement it fully in the DB service, so that what it returns for a diff is something like the new response. And if what it got from the server doesn't look like the new response and looks like the old response, it should massage it into the new response.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That sounds good.
And then we can get rid of that code later after everything is deployed and settled.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I just wanted to make sure, but that sounds great.
Yeah.
All good?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, I think that does it for dev updates, but just quickly, Kevin, we can catch you up on the last web analyst call on Monday night. It was a long call, but Rob at the very end, thank you for sticking around, did a demo of the UI.
Cool.
And demoed the link comparer, which was well received because it's what's really nice is and maybe this is intentional, but because it might be a little bumpy, like moving them over to Virginista, like something they're used to something new. It's nice to give them this feature that they don't have in Virginista that they actually will find really helpful.
Yeah.
It just sort of balances the like why am I changing all of my workflows and stuff.
Yeah. That's super cool.
Even though everyone's really receptive, and it's not like Virginista is like perfect either, right? So but it will require an extra link, but I think it'll be fine. What you get for it, it'll be fine, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, I was actually going to quickly mention because there was the PRs for fixing like pagination, fixing up like all that stuff. I also was just going to hold off a little bit until like all the DB stuff settles down for
Right.
a bit.
Right. So then was the conclusion though that we are going to move, this is a good question, because I read the thread. I just want to make sure I'm up to date. There was a, Rob, Kevin sent me that the issue of talking about like, do we still need like the concept of a cycle? And so especially if we have like pagination, eventually, you know, there was talk about like, you know, the previous stuff isn't useful anymore, but maybe it could be something through like coloring or other, you know, UI stuff. We could, you know, it could always just keep on pulling in the past, but you could just sort of see what the relevant cycle was, the work week was or something. I mean, is that, maybe we can also circle back to the larger group if they're ever going to need that.
I mean, I think that's the thing that needs lots of discussion, and we have to get to a place where like it's technically feasible not to have it before we can sit down with analysts, or just have the analysts sit down amongst themselves and figure out whether the cycle is still useful when it's not a technical need. Because I feel like that's more a process question than a technical question. And I can see good arguments either way. Like, it's nice to have people always looking at all the latest things. But if you can make cycles, then you can also give people completable chunks, which like is a huge thing for keeping people going, because they can actually get something done, as opposed to always being chasing the continuing series of changes.
Right. Because it could also use or something. So there could be like a cycle view where you're only going to see what you need to go through. So you do get this idea of it's not infinite scrolling, but it's just like you get your page, you run through it, and you're like, I'm done. And if you want to do more, you could do more or something. But there could be like it could be a filter or a toggler or something or whatever, but it could just show you potentially just like the chunks to give them that sort of like goalpost. Because definitely, like, now that I've been doing some analyst work, I do see the list, and it is nice when I see like, okay, I got 5 more, or like, okay, I'm going to do half and take a break and like watch YouTube for 5 minutes and then go back. So I totally agree with that, because I'm living it a little bit. But if you're doing more research, if we think there might be frequent needs for them to go digging further, maybe maybe it could be at a second view, but we can sort of cross that bridge when we get to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like I think we've already built it that way on purpose, right? You only get this cycle-based view if you're looking at your assigned pages. If you're looking at
the assigned pages versus all pages. Okay.
All pages is not cycle-based. It's just literally everything.
Okay. And is that working? Okay, that's not what I didn't understand that when Kevin and I were talking about that.
Yeah, I think I misunderstood that too. But yeah, that makes
all pages is everything. Assigned pages will be the last 7 days.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Then that makes sense. Okay. So then assigned pages, I think we might be able to just do the last 7 days. It should be fine. Cool. All right. That's super helpful to talk through. So AI page freezer. So I think Totally just sent the letter of intent to sharing committing today. So hopefully the latest, I guess they'll vote on it in the next call, which will be, I'll just double check to make sure it's on the agenda for Friday. But yeah, it'd be great to get that moving. Milestone status. Yeah, so do we still think, Dan was talking about being able to get the analysts working through our UI? We need the pagination in place before that, right? Or
yeah,
we do. Okay, let me escalate.
I don't think we do.
No,
because you're still going to use the spreadsheets. The spreadsheets will just link to our page details page instead of to Versionistas comparison.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. This is why we've like downplayed all the work for the last 2 months on the list view, because the easy way to transition is for them to continue using the spreadsheets, because the spreadsheets are doing what the list view is meant to do in its most primitive form, right? Like without search controls and other stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh,
yeah.
right. Okay. Cool. So what we could do is with me then, maybe I do a dry run this week with my links in the UI. And then when that's ready, you should just let me know and we'll do that. And then maybe for the next cycle, we can do that. We might need some, is accounting, creating accounts still through directly to the DB, or is there like an admin panel? Which
there's an admin panel in DB. I don't know if you are an admin, so you might not see the link to the admin panel.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I've never requested it being an admin, I don't think.
Are you?
Or maybe I am. I didn't know what that button was.
I mean, if you go to DB, there's a little link like right at the top that says admin if you're an admin. If you're not an admin, it's not there. So
okay. When you say go to DB, what's the URL for that?
api.monitoring.environmentdata.org.
Okay. Yes, that. All right. In my mind, I call it a different thing, but I can call it.
You are user 21.
So I don't think I am an admin.
So unfortunately, I have not made a thing in the admin panel that lets you make somebody an admin.
Okay.
So that I have to do on the console.
Okay, that's what I meant.
But I can see you.
Okay. I'm a thing.
Yeah. And you are not an admin.
Okay. That's fine. And actually, either way, because what we'll need to do, fairly soon then also is get the.
But now you are.
Oh, great! Thanks. The analysts. I think some of the analysts will need new accounts. They've been created for some of them. They may need more. Is that something you can do, Kevin?
What's that?
Or
creating accounts?
That's yeah.
I can do that. Well, anybody that's an admin can create.
Now
accounts.
you can do it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can sit with you to just go through the process real quick if you want to do that.
Okay. Because I have to do it in the council, right?
Yeah. Or not the console.
No.
Now that you're admin, you can do it on the site. Yeah.
Oh, I can. Okay.
But we can. I can stay on the call.
As an admin, you can see all the users. You can see whether they've confirmed their invite. You can send invites, and you can delete accounts.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Great.
You can't change whether somebody's an admin from the admin panel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense too because it's that requires permissioning and stuff like that. That sounds like a pain to do in the short term. Anyway.
But I can stay after the call, Ray, if you want to just go over that.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be super helpful. And then, nice. Okay. So, okay.
Okay. You're also an admin on staging now too.
Okay. Great. Yep. Super link. Perfect. Such power. Okay. Great. So we have some action items. I mean, the action items I think for the team are mostly the tickets, and then I'll follow up with Alan. On those waffle board items, and yeah, okay, sounds good. Great. Is there anything else, questions that we wanted to discuss?
I'm good.
Okay. And then Kevin, I'll circle back with you on potentially getting some of that like testing stuff set up locally for the processing. You or Dan.
That'd be Dan, yeah. I'll help you with the admin stuff.
Right. Did I say Kevin? I think I still meant Rob. Sorry. I'm gonna. Yeah. So yeah. All right. Is it Friday yet? Okay. So sounds okay. Yeah, we're all good. So I'll stick around with you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Rob, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob.
And
See ya.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.